What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of The Long Dark. We're playing the Whiteout challenge right now, which is pretty cool, which is actually not what you do when you have a paper due in like 2 hours with your professor. You don't have time to reprint because you don't have a printer. Although that did happen to me before. But Whiteout is generally not considered to be something that you want to use in that situation. So, just let her be. Let it be, and welcome on back to The Long Dark. My name is Splattercat. Very happy to have you here today as we try to conclude this challenge. We're making progress. We're moving along. I think I'd be remiss if I said we were doing anything but that. I do think that our next journey is going to be to the whaling map. I think that's where I'm going to go next. I think Desolation Point or whatever is what it's called. That map is normally not a place that a lot of people would want to go in the situation that you're looking for food or anything else, but the way that I think it'll benefit us is that A, it will give us access to all the hardwoods and softwoods and things that we need. Giggity, there's a joke in there somewhere. It'll give us access to all the wood that we need for right now. Believe me, I'm living this YouTube life right now. If I need access to wood, I'm pretty sure I can get it. It's the internet, after all. It is the internet. There's just wieners everywhere. That's one of the main features of the internet. I don't think it's one of the main selling points. I mean, it might be. I have no idea. I'm kind of speaking from a limited perspective here. I'm just saying that it's the internet. If we need to get our hands on wood, we could probably do it really, really rapidly. All we need is like a Skype account or something like that. Now, I am supremely overweight at the moment, and that is going to cost us a lot on our way back home. Inside of my inventory right now, I am carrying around a lot of stuff with me. However, I do think it's going to help out with stockpiling some of the goodies that we have available. In addition, this 84 Storm Lantern right here, my plan for it... Oh, we're actually drained right now. Well, that's not a good thing. What time is it? We got 3 hours of daylight left. And see, you ever notice how the wind in this game is always going... I think it looks in the direction that you're walking, and it's just like Left 4 Dead. It's like, how can I mess with him right now? And then it just goes, I know how I can mess with him. Let's just put the wind in the opposite direction of where he wants to go. Clearly, that will be the thing that fixes it. We got to go all the way back to that spot right there. So I'm going to cut y'all loose, and I'll come back once we're in base. So I got a little bit sidetracked. Unfortunately, I had to shoot a wolf on my way back in here, and I was able to harvest it for its meat, but that's put our energy in a really, really dangerously precarious situation. And so our character's falling asleep right now. We're almost back home. I think if we come across any future attrition, though, we're going to struggle a little bit to deal with it. I may actually just sleep inside one of the cars or something on my way back in. Although the garage is right there. I'd actually... there's a wolf back there. My hope would be that we could make it inside, but I'm not going to... I don't know where the wolf is at. He's in here. Doggy, no. Doggy, away from me. I've been very, very kind to your people over the course of my life. Like 6 months ago, I adopted one of you, and I invited it into my home, even though he's destroyed everything I care about and everything valuable that I own. He's damaged it in some way. I've spent my time making him a better part of wolf society. Wolf's like, no, you haven't. You've turned him into basically a human. Look at that dog. Your dog's a ninny right now. Look at him. Look at him. I'm like, dude, my dog's hardcore. You better stop. My dog will come out here and fight you. My dog goes hard. I love my dog. My dog was the best decision that I ever made. Although you do have that adjustment period when you first get a dog. I tell people, I have friends that are thinking about getting a dog or whatnot. I'm like, well, don't worry about it too much. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to adopt a puppy, right? You're going to adopt this puppy. The day after you adopt that puppy, you're going to have a nervous breakdown. I promise you. You're going to sit there and go, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? Holy shit, I can't handle this. I promise you that's what's going to happen. It happened to me. It came in different phases for me and my wife. For me, it hit me first, where, like, I think 2 days after I got my puppy, I hadn't slept in, like, 2 days because he was up all night, like, barking and freaking out and losing his mind and not, because it's a new setting. The dog doesn't know where he is. He's confused. He's a baby. He was, like, 9 weeks old, Like, if you think about it, he's basically an infant. All that he wanted was his mom. And so he's freaking out. He's not used to his new family yet. He doesn't understand that, like, you're here to take care of him. We have tons of wolf meat, by the way. I don't know. That's probably what the wolf smelled. I was trying to convince him of how nice I was by rescuing a puppy. But at the same time, I just shot one of his friends, too. So, I don't know. Maybe he's past the point of listening. How am I doing with all my stats here? I'm peckish and I have dry mouth. Okay. Well, let's drink that for a little bit of caloric intake. It won't help out much, but I think it should be enough to get us through the night. As far as the remainder of our food goes, we've got a lot of fresh food. I could technically spend some time with the fire barrel over here and try to... Oh, man, our fire starting chance is pretty brutal. That's because I think I put all my good stuff. Pretty sure I put all of my good stuff back inside of our little storage area. Do I have a bunch of sticks with me? Good. I can get sticks from, like, anywhere, so this is not that huge of an ordeal. Let's make... We're going to cook that moldy venison, and that'll be our breakfast in the morning. Mmm, delicious and moldy venison. Our condition is down to 85%, though, so we'll want to keep an eye on that. But I wanted to get a lot of this cooked. I know some people that play the game optimally will recommend that you take these down to like 30 or 40% or something like that, and then you cook them because it puts them back up to 100%, so you get a better shelf life out of them. However, we are going to eat all of this meat within the next 2 to 3 days, so I'm not planning on storing it or saving it or putting it inside of a cabinet or anything like that. Don't think it'll matter. But I'm just saying there are alternative strategies for playing right now, and I'm not doing the optimal thing. I know how that drives the internet crazy. I understand. You guys want me to do the optimal thing? Not an optimal player. That's never been me. I kind of just play by... I think that's what's attractive about me as a gameplay guy, is that I kind of just go off whims. Just whimsy. Like a pure sense of whimsy is what I have. You know, I see an objective and I'm like, hey, I could play this one direction that's the optimal way, or I could just have fun with it. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, right? We'll make some herbal tea with the final little chunk of fire that we have right here. So there it is. We made ourselves some herbal tea. I'm going to recommend we eat one of the smaller pieces of meat, like that one right there. That's 133. Oh, actually, we're pretty drained as far as food goes. Yeah, sure. Throw those 800 calories on in you. That'll make you feel better. An entire steak was eaten because we're just a man like that. We Ron Swanson up. We wear our mustache on the outside. Okay, and then we'll go to bed. We're going to go to bed pretty much till morning. I mean, there's no reason not to. Our character's exhausted. We need to get him back up into A-grade shape. By morning, however, we should be hungry and thirsty again. How did that do for my energy? We're still not there. I was hoping we'd have a full energy bar, but that's okay. Go ahead and get 700 calories in there. We are parched, so we're going to start taking a little bit of statistical damage if I don't handle this right now. It sounds like it's a shitty day outside. Like, when I hear that noise at my house, I'm like, oh, man, it's a crappy day outside. Now then, we've got a little bit of sunlight, so that gives us an opportunity to start stacking up some of the stuff we have in our inventory. I would prefer to be less encumbered. I don't think I'll need a hatchet while we're... Actually, I have a toolbox, don't I? I think I have a toolbox over here. Yeah, I've got like a toolbox that's got everything. Okay. So I'm not going to need a hatchet while I'm out there. I sincerely doubt I'm going to need a hatchet. I don't think that's going to be important. I'm going to throw all of the lantern fuel in there except for 1/2 liter. On this side, I've got myself access to... Well, here, we'll go one by one and we'll drop things off as we have them. I'll keep my accelerant. I like my inventory right now. I feel like we have a solid inventory. If I have anything in here that is not already equipped, okay. I could probably get away with getting rid of some water and just carrying like 2 liters with me, but that's the wrong box for it anyways. Oh, we've got a stale chocolate bar too. As far as tools go, I would drop off this lantern right here. Oh, it's full. Our toolbox is full. Okay. We'll use this one as an overflow toolbox then. Drop you in there. Not going to need this many sewing kits. Probably not going to need a toolkit right now. That seems like a bit much. I think we could probably get away. We are going to need the pry bar, so unfortunately that's got to come with us. If we wanted to play really, really risky, we could go without a bedroll. But I just don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that just yet. Ooh, I'd like to think I could get my weight down lower than that, but it's just like I'm a hoarder, and I like to pack rat things. And also, now that you can wear so much more clothing, you actually carry around a lot of clothes nowadays. They may want to go through and slightly rebalance clothing, just a little bit, not a lot. Like, take the weights down slightly. Because at the moment, I mean, if you count the numbers off right here, we're carrying a lot of clothing on us. I think we're probably sitting at like, well, easily about 10 kilos of just equipment on our character. I do need to drop off water still, but that's going to be fairly linear. Unfortunately, that's only going to relieve us of like... Yeah, it's only going to relieve us of like not much. Our meter's still pretty full. The meat's going to be taken up a lot, obviously, so as we eat that, the weight will diminish a little bit. It's just that our carrying capacity at the moment is not super hyped. We've got 10 kilograms of water in there. 10 liters. Okay. So how are we looking on our journal right now? We've got the lantern. Lamp oil, we're getting there. We're getting closer with the lamp oil, but we're not quite there yet. Potable water, we're moving along. Mostly what we need is just going to be wood, food. I mean, things that we need to stack up at the moment are actually not that bad of challenges. It's just that, how many rounds do I have left? I can't have that many rounds left. I think I've only got like 5 or 6 left, and that's going to lead to problems. In the next map, it's going to be fairly wood-infested. No, it's going to be fairly wolf-infested. And that could lead to some issues. We do have a little bit of wind at our backs, so that's a boon that I'm more than happy to accept from the great gods of the fiery winter. They're from the fiery winter. It's a little bit of an oxymoron. Is the winter fiery? It is when the gods are in the house. It is when the gods is in the house. You might be wondering why I use that description. It's the way they like to be addressed. And when you're staring into the face of a god that might give you an extra jar of peanut butter, well, you say whatever it takes in order to make them happy. You say what it takes, Nerd Castle. What you say? Shooting baby wolfies every day with my 308 and... Wait, it's not a 308. This is a 303, isn't it? I'd like it if they had like a... So people were asking about the revolver. I guess that might not have been implemented. Somebody said that they jumped up on the wiki and they were looking around and they were like, I don't know about that one, man. I may have been relaying false information, but I thought there was a plan at some point to add a revolver to the game, or like a handgun, or like a 1911 or something. A weapon that does not kill with one shot like the 303 does, because the 303 is a fairly solid rifle. That's a rifle that you can go to war with. It'll do a little bit of damage. I don't own a rifle. I've got a handgun and I've got a shotgun. I've got a 380 and I've got a 12 gauge nowadays. Just because, you know, living in the United States is kind of like living in a persistent arms race. Everybody else has guns, so you're like, I'm feeling a little outstrapped right now. I'm not saying shit's gonna happen, but like, if it does, everybody else has guns. And we've all played DayZ. We know how that goes. You don't want to be the guy running around with the axe when everybody else has Makarovs and shit. It's just not going to turn out well for you. That was actually my favorite period of DayZ, I think, is when Makarovs, you started with Makarovs by default. Like when you spawned, you had a Makarov in one clip. I liked that phase of the game. I thought that phase of the game was great because you could at least defend yourself, kind of. And yes, it did lead to gunfights in the middle of the beach as people tried to steal your extra clip and whatnot. But... your extra magazine, that is. I can already hear people losing their minds in the comments. A clip and a magazine are different. When I reload this gun right here, and he sticks it into the top, that's a stripper clip as far as I know. It's the clip that a stripper would carry. But a clip is a little bit different. A clip holds the ammo with like a light wire frame or whatever, and then you put it in the gun, and then it like pops out. A magazine is like self-contained. A magazine is like a plastic chassis or like a metal chassis that holds the rounds completely and then like pops them upwards one by one when the gun fires using the action or whatever. I might be speaking slightly out of turn here because I'm not a huge gun guy. Not a huge gun guy. You'd think I would be since I own guns. It seems like you should probably know some shit about guns if you're going to own them, but nope. Nope. Because I like to live my life on the edge like that. Hey, what's up, Raishi? Mushrooms? It says these are edible, but you're not allowed to eat them. That always bugs me about the description on those. It's like, oh, these are totally edible. I'm like, no, they're not. You got to boil them first, and then you got to drink them as tea, and then they only give you like 100 calories. So most people aren't even going to mess around and pick up Raishi tea because it's just not worth it. That's true. I do have a little bit of sprinting left in me. Let's have a look here. Ooh, there's a deer over there if I was feeling particularly cavalier about my gun. Seeing as we are a little bit limited, however, right now with regards to ammunition, I will probably keep my remaining rounds just for self-defense. We're going to Desolation Point. I don't think there's anything else on this map that's going to be super interesting to take a look at. So, yeah, I'll see you in Desolation Point. Into Desolation Point we go. Inside that car back there, I actually ended up getting a rifle cleaning kit, which is pretty sweet. That's an object that I did not expect to get at this point. We'll be very, very careful. This dude hates going off of, like, edges. He's just like, yeah! I feel like this guy would lose his mind if he had to do some of the jumps and some of the random stuff I did while I was doing my hiking back in the day. At its worst, I recall when I was doing my field work and I was doing my surveys, there were days where you did a huge amount of miles with, 60, 70 pounds on your back. Simultaneously, you would have to free climb like half the places. Everywhere you would go, you'd have to free climb a wall that was like 15 feet tall or some shit. And it was just like, well, we got to get up there so we can look at the thing that's up there and we can spend a whole bunch of time walking around, or we can just climb this thing because it looks like we should be able. This stone looks pretty good. And we always had rock climbers in our group. Like, the thing about geologists is a lot of them are rock climbers, and so they would take a look at the wall and be like, yeah, it looks safe. We'll be all right. You spring back up there. sometimes you'd question it and you'd be like, but how safe? Like, because the people that are into rock climbing tend to be kind of brave, adventurous people anyways. And so taking that into account, sometimes you'll just be like, well, you're kind of brave though, man. Are you sure? Because a brave man looks at a challenge and says, oh yeah, it's totally safe. Whereas someone who maybe is not, I'm not going to say a man that is not brave, because that doesn't seem right to me. But I'll say someone that has a little bit more caution might sit there and go, I don't know about this one, Chief. I don't know about this one. This one might be a little bit of something that we want to put some care. Ooh. I see a deer. I see a deer. I'm going to cut off that deer's face and cook it in deep fry oil. It's extra weight, and it's using up some of my... Oh, good. We're not chilled anymore. That's funsies. What's up with the weather, though? Ew. This weather seems sketchy. I don't live in a place where there's snow, though. It's never snowed here. Seriously, the last time we had snow in the place where I live, it was like 1983. I'm not even messing with you. It does not snow here. You will never see snow if you live where I live. In the winter, it gets down to like freezing, and you get like sleet, and you get hail and stuff like that. But you never get snow. You never get snow. I guess the temperament of the air is just not right for it. There's a basement over here. I'm just going to say to light up some matches. I don't want to waste my lantern fuel if I don't have to. We've got a flare right there. Not bad. Ooh, lantern fuel. Yes, please. Got a toolbox over here. Let's go through it. Really cured leather. And a hook. Oh, the hook is very, very nice. We can actually turn that into a fishing line if we play our cards right. Now, normally when I'm on this map, I don't need the toolkit. I'm not going to take it with me. There is a kerosene can over here. But that puts us overweight, and that's always the concern for me when I go in on a kerosene can. Go ahead and refuel this. Wow, that's a lot of fuel, too. 2.71 liters. Holy shit. Okay, so I want to clean this rifle. Condition improvement will go up by 3%. It's not much, but the gun is in rough shape right now, so... I figure we run it through and clean. At a certain point, there's not going to be a whole lot you can do for a gun without, like, replacement parts and stuff, though. I am carrying around an extra fisherman's sweater that I don't think is going to be useful at all, so I'll get rid of that to take our weight down slightly. I can also begin shoving morsels in my mouth to try to offset the fact that we're carrying too much loot. Yeah, that should help out pretty considerably. Nice. Now we're back down below weight. We'll go through the dryer. I have my own washer and dryer. For those of you that have been following the saga of my household, I have finally... Ooh, new thermal underwear and ragged climbing socks. Are the new thermal underwears better than the underwears that I'm wearing right now? I have new wool long johns and new thermal underwears. But I've got even better thermal underwears. Oh, never mind. Those are 95%. Never mind then. I don't even want you then. I don't even want you to come with me. I'll drop you. Let's go back to the clothing menu. Definitely not going to carry around climbing socks with me. Since the point of this is to, like, the point of the challenge is just a pack rat, basically. And since that's the point of the challenge, my recommendation would be, I can't see worth a damn right now. There we go. But yeah, since the point is just to squirrel things away for a little bit, my suggestion would be just don't keep the extra stuff. Whereas when I played the game normally, like in a sandbox mode, I would keep everything because you just don't know. You might need it later on. In this situation, I'm probably going to try and stay a little bit lighter. I was worried those crackers were going to put me overweight. I'm like, man, these crackers on my back always messing with me, making everything so difficult. All right, so trunk is locked. That's usually a good sign. A locked trunk in this game normally means you're about to get some loot. Ooh, ski gloves. Yeah. Did I bring a sewing kit with me? Hold on, we're going to go back inside and I'm going to fix those up. That's a little bit too tempting to let go of. So I dropped stuff in here. We're going to tear this apart. And I mean, I don't even care if we run out of energy because we've got a shelter right now. The only time I worry about running out of energy is when I don't have a shelter. Now for this, if I wanted to repair it, it requires cloth. Fantastic. That's what I was hoping it would require. Let's go ahead and harvest these for their bits. That's right. Give me your bits. These bits is mine. You me space marine. Your little bits is gonna be on me chopper and on me war truck. Harvest that right there. I don't think that cloth would make for an amazingly well insulated or well defended war truck. I don't think it would help very much. I'll probably get 2 from this. Oh no, you only got 1 from that. Well, damn, look at the game being all stingy and making me wonder. Fine then, game. I don't want to play anyway. You'd be mean to me. I repair you. My repair skill is garbage, though, so yeah. Expect this to happen. So that's 1 repair done right there. Let's go for another one. We got shit on me. Okay. At 54%, how much better are those than the gloves that I'm currently wearing? Because right now I have mittens. Those are quite a bit better when it comes to a number of different statistics, but as far as insulation goes, we're going to have to repair them before it's going to be useful. Oh, there's a pair of jeans over here. Yeah, sure. I take these pants and I consecrate them. Raw materials. The rawest of materials. I got dry mouth. I'm going to be peckish soon. Doing too much activity right now. I'm a sedentary individual, man. We can't have this kind of stuff going on. Legit though, we need to level up our tailoring like badly. Insufficient materials, so these are sitting at 79% now. We'll have to see how they compare now that they're on 79%. I don't know why I keep doing that. It looks like they're a lot better for wind chill. But in order to make them 100% better than what we have, we're going to have to take them all the way up. All right, it's fine. It was an opportunity to level up our crafting skill. As far as mending goes, we're getting a little bit closer. Wow, these meters do not fill up in a gung-ho way. These meters take their damn time. Okay. I don't know if I have time to get to another location. That's what concerns me here, is that we've only got a little bit of daylight left, and I've only got a little bit of energy left. It's about 1 in the afternoon right now as far as game time goes. Little interested in seeing if we can make it on out of here without getting ourselves into trouble. I mean, at the end of the day, we've got really good clothes. We've got a really solid bedroll, and so we can basically sleep in the snow if we really, really need to, and it's probably not going to be much to our detriment. But as it stands right now, I'd like to make it to Desolation Point Lighthouse by the end of the day. And so I think that would be the objective that I would really sort of lay out in front of myself in order to make this a successful adventure. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of The Long Dark. A game that's mostly about just walking around looking at stuff and trying to figure out whether or not it's worth it to bring something along with you. I do, however, think this is the 100% the survival game to keep an eye on if you're interested in survival games. This is the one that I would go with. Just keep an eye on it. It's a pretty cool game. I will see you all later. Thank you for stopping on by. As I always do, my spiel about Patreon. This is the first episode of my batch of recordings, so that's usually when I try to call it out. Patreon is the best way to support the channel. You can swing on through there and get yourself a whole bunch of benefits like bonus videos, things that you get a little bit early, Discord servers, stuff like that, where I hang out on the Discord while I record most days, and I just kind of drop in and chat a little bit in between episodes that I'm recording and whatnot. Pretty cool stuff, and I think it's a great way for me to talk to you guys and get a feel for what you do and don't like about the channel. Thank you for stopping on in today. I hope to see you all later, perhaps even in the Patreon, huh? Or perhaps in the Discord, yeah? All right, bye, everybody. I'll see you later.